Hidden stories, true stories, real lives. Subscribe for more.
A few years ago, I met a woman online through a shared community. At first, our conversations were casual, but over time they became something I genuinely looked forward to. We talked almost every day, laughed a lot, and discovered that we shared many interests and values. What stood out to me most was how ambitious and career-focused she was, which is something I deeply admire and look for in a partner. Early last year, she told me that she had developed romantic feelings for me. I felt the same way, and from that point on, our connection grew stronger. We spent more time together online, watching things together, talking late into the night, and emotionally supporting each other. Eventually, she began referring to me as her boyfriend, and even told her family members and coworkers about me. While that didn't scare me away, I personally felt that before fully committing, we needed to meet in real life. For Christmas, I decided to take a big step and planned a trip to visit her. She lives in Canada, and I live in the United States, so the trip was expensive and required a lot of planning. Still, I believed it would be worth it. We had discussed meeting before, and it made sense for me to travel to her, especially because she struggles with severe anxiety and has some health issues that make traveling difficult for her. The trip finally happened this past weekend, but unfortunately it did not go the way I had imagined. From the very beginning, things felt off. I arrived in a city I didn't know, in a different country, feeling nervous but excited. After a long Uber ride to my hotel, I expected that she would be ready to meet me shortly after. Instead, her anxiety became overwhelming, and it took her over 2 hours to gather the courage to drive 5 minutes to see me. When we finally met, she was visibly shaking and crying. Despite that, the moment itself was emotional and meaningful. We hugged, talked briefly, and then went to her place. She lives with her brother, whom I met shortly after arriving. We spent some time together, but her anxiety remained intense, and she struggled to relax. Eventually, she decided it would be better for me to return to my hotel by Uber rather than have her drive me back. The next morning, I woke up early. Knowing she usually works night shifts, I assumed she would need time to rest. I stayed in my hotel room, waiting. 4 hours later, she messaged me and said she still wasn't ready to see me because her nerves hadn't settled. I tried to be understanding. I went out, explored nearby places on foot, bought food, and gave her space. Several hours later, I finally went back to her place. She barely ate, and then told me that we were going to a social gathering with her brother and their friends. I was surprised, but agreed. The drive was long, and when we arrived, her friends were incredibly welcoming. She introduced me as her boyfriend, and for a moment I felt reassured. However, throughout the evening, we barely spent any time together. She was busy talking to friends or playing games, and I was often left making small talk with people I had just met. Around 10 p.m., when we left, I assumed the night was just beginning. She usually stays up very late, and I was excited to finally have some quiet, one-on-one time with her. Instead, she asked her brother if it was okay for her to drop me off at my hotel before going home. In that moment, I felt a deep sense of disappointment and confusion. I sat silently in the car, trying to process the fact that she was too exhausted to spend even a few hours alone with me. Back in my hotel room, everything hit me at once. I was alone, in a foreign country, just minutes away from someone I'd considered my girlfriend for over a year. I didn't know how to feel or what to do. I was afraid to express my feelings because I didn't want to worsen her anxiety, but I also felt invisible. Eventually, I told her how I felt, that it seemed like I had met everyone in her life except for her. She apologized and explained that her anxiety was still extremely high. She said she cared deeply about me, but felt emotionally drained. She admitted that being alone together scared her, not because she didn't want me, but because she hadn't been in a relationship for a long time. I reassured her that I wasn't expecting anything physical. I simply wanted to spend quality time together, talking, walking, getting to know each other in real life. She promised that after I met her mother the next day, we might finally have time alone. Now, as I write this, it's my last day here. I leave early tomorrow morning. Instead of feeling happy or connected, I feel confused and heartbroken. I imagined that we would spend every possible moment together, especially since our time was so limited. Instead, I spent most of my trip alone in a hotel room. I don't doubt that she cares about me, but I'm unsure whether this relationship can survive after this experience. Anxiety explains her behavior, but it doesn't erase the pain of feeling unwanted or secondary. All I can do now is see how this final day unfolds and decide what this relationship truly means to me.
Thank you for being here. Like and subscribe for more.